Hello everyone. It is good that all of us could meet again in this discussion initiative with Carole Switzer and Dittmar, who actually are the co-founder of OCEG and the pillar of OCEG respectively. We are talking about one aspect of the top 25 questions leadership must ask about GRC for artificial intelligence. This time, we are going to talk about the aspect of data use and security. Please, Carole and Lee, can you say hello to the audience?
Hi, Anton. Hello, Carole. Good to be with you again. Looking forward to continuing our conversation.
Hi, Anton. Good to be with you again. Nice to see you also, Lee. And I'm glad everyone's enjoying our series.
Carole and Lee, in the paper that you could write, i.e. the top 25 questions leadership must ask about GRC for AI, you actually suggest that there are 3 questions need to be addressed by leadership, which are actually related to the aspect of data and security. So in this regard, may I go first to you, Carole? Would you please to give some insights related to the questions number 1, which is actually as follows. What data is being used to train the artificial intelligence system, and how is data being collected, stored, prepared, and protected? Following that question, may I also ask you about what is the expected outcome of this particular question is being addressed by the leadership? Please, Carole.
So, Anton, understanding what data the AI system is being trained on is really important. For those that are using AI systems that are going to be repeatedly addressing and utilizing data of the organization, training that system on the organization's AI data inputs can be very important. This is important for several reasons, and understanding what data is being used to train the AI systems is critical for leadership so that they have the right transparency, they understand the foundations of the AI's knowledge, and this is important to ensure that bias isn't being built into the AI's analytical outputs. It's also helpful in ensuring the right quality and relevance of data and knowing that your AI is learning from very diverse and representative sources. So the answer to this question ideally should cover a number of areas. It should clearly define the data sources. It should explain how data is collected by user interaction, by surveys, by other means. You want to make sure that aligns with privacy standards. You want to learn how the data is being stored and what security measures are put in place and how it's being prepared or cleaned or transformed to ensure that it's in a suitable format for training the AI. Overall, you want to have security protocols in place. You want to know that the data is safeguarded. So you want your answer to address issues like encryption, access controls, and other protective measures. So overall, you want to see that the approach to the training of AI meets the same sort of privacy and data security concerns that you broadly apply.
Thanks, Carole, for such the answer and explanation. Appreciate it. Now may I turn my head to Lee. Lee, may we hear from you some insights related to the question number 2, i.e. what controls are in place or to be in place to prevent data quality issues from impacting the reliability, accuracy, trustworthiness, and relevance of our artificial intelligence model. And following that question, may I also ask you, Lee, to give also some examples of control or controls that can be used by leaders to prevent such data quality issues in their organization. Please, Lee, share your thoughts.
Well, Anton, this question is significant because, as Carole explained so well, data quality directly affects the performance and the trustworthiness of AI systems. Poor data quality can lead to flawed predictions, biased outcomes, and unreliable insights, which in turn can erode confidence and trust, limit the adoption and the realization of value, and create new risks, including potential compliance issues. So real quick, just to review, we talk about reliability, accuracy, trustworthiness, and relevance. So in reliability, this refers to the consistency of the AI model's performance. Ensuring high data quality means the model can be depended upon to produce similar outcomes under consistent conditions. Poor data quality will introduce noise and inconsistencies, making the AI model unreliable. Accuracy how close the AI model's predictions are to the outcomes, the actual outcomes. If the data used to train the AI model is accurate, complete, not flawed, and timely, then the model's predictions will be reliable, they'll be accurate. Otherwise, you'll compromise decision-making processes that rely on AI-generated insights. Trustworthiness, this encompasses explainability and the ethical and unbiased nature of AI results and outcomes. And data quality issues can introduce and amplify bias within AI models. Relevance, this means the data should be pertinent to the context and the purpose of the AI application. Irrelevant or outdated data can skew the AI model's understanding and outputs, leading to decisions not aligned with current realities or needs. So, examples of controls, I'll share 6. Number 1, data validation and cleansing. 2, effective data governance framework. Clear policies and procedures for data management, including ownership, stewardship, and accountability. Ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements is also a key part of a data governance framework. Continuous monitoring and auditing, setting up systems to continuously monitor data quality and model performance over time. Bias detection and mitigation, implementing techniques using advanced tools to detect and mitigate biases.
Thanks, Lee, for your explanation. Now we come to the third point of discussion, which relates to the question number 3. How are we incorporating cybersecurity and data privacy consideration into our artificial intelligence system? As such, I invite you back, Carole, to give your view and thought regarding such questions. In addition, would you please share some example of how the cybersecurity consideration are practically be adopted into organizations' AI system? Please, Carole, to say a word or to share your thought on that question.
Yeah, so having the right cybersecurity measures in place and addressing data privacy is essential when you're moving ahead with the use of AI. As I mentioned earlier, one of those key things is encryption. Do you have encryption in place to secure your data? Do you have coding practices? Do you perform regular security audits? All of this is important to protect against cyber threats. And for data privacy safeguards, you want to make sure you have good access control in place, that you have compliance with relevant standards and regulations, that there are ways to anonymize data, and also in some instances you need user consent with regard to using particularly sensitive data. All of these are really important ways that you need to address security and privacy concerns.
Thank you, Carole. And now I would like to also posing the question number 3 to Lee. In this case, please, Lee, share your observation on some good practices as well as bad practices. Say, for example, how are the organization leaders incorporating cybersecurity effectively and data privacy consideration into their AI system, which might or could lead the organization into trouble if otherwise. Please, Lee.
Thanks, Anton. Well, let me talk about good practices and not so good practices. Now, Carole has covered a number of these things already, so I apologize for any redundancy. I want to emphasize a few things. So on good practices, comprehensive risk assessment that focuses on the cybersecurity and data privacy risks specifically associated with AI systems. Evaluating data breaches, adversarial attacks, and other threats on the AI models and the data used to develop the models. Now, we've spoken about data encryption quite a bit. I think it's important to emphasize that data should be encrypted both at rest and in transit to help protect sensitive information from unauthorized access. Implementing strict access controls using the latest and best technologies, as those that would try to get access to your data also have the ability to use the latest tools. Data minimization, collecting and only using the data required for AI models to function, thereby reducing the amount of sensitive data at risk, and also using synthetic data where and when feasible. then conducting regular security audits and continuous monitoring of AI systems. You want to stay on top of the status and the issues that are happening in the models, particularly those that are caused by and affected by the data. So implementing automated tools becomes very important in this fast-paced game of AI. Adversarial robustness, designing AI models to be robust against adversarial attacks. From the beginning, design for resilience, design for robustness from the very beginning of your design and development. Compliance with regulations. Ensuring AI systems comply with relevant data protection regulations, such as GDPR, CCPA, and other specific industry standards. And of course, keeping abreast of changes in the regulations because they are coming fast and furious. And finally, engaging with stakeholders to address ethical concerns and build trust in AI applications you develop and deploy. Now, what would bad practices look like? Well, in part, it's the omission of those things that I just discussed. So with regard to encryption, for example, using outdated or weak encryption methods that can be easily compromised. Insufficient access controls, relying solely on password protection without multi-factor authentication, and not keeping up with how AI can be used to compromise traditional access controls. With regard to regulation, not prioritizing compliance with data privacy regulations and not keeping up with the changes and neglecting to update your data privacy practices. Neglecting or not prioritizing security audits, not conducting them regularly, not staying on top of your vulnerabilities, and then ignoring findings from security audits and failing to implement recommended improvements. Poor incident response, lacking a clear incident response plan for when things do go wrong, when data breaches occur, or when privacy is violated. And related to this is failing to communicate breaches to the affected parties and stakeholders promptly. And finally, in the category of unethical AI practices, is developing and deploying AI systems without fully considering ethical implications. And I'll end with this. Very poor idea to not engage your stakeholders to address the concerns that they have and to build trust in your AI applications.
Thanks, Lee, for the answer. As now we come to the end of the discussion session, allow me to express our sincere thanks to both of you, Carole and Lee, for the discussion on the aspect of data use and security. As regard to the top 25 questions leadership must ask about GRC for artificial intelligence. Now, please, I ask also audience to give our sincere thanks to the honorable resource speaker, Ms. Carole Switzer and Mr. Lee Dittmar, for their kind sharing with us.
Thanks, Anton. Good to be with you. Carole, you too. I'll leave you with this final thought. It's all about the data.
Thanks, Antonius, and goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you all again in the next discussion. See you all, guys.